Welcome to the Lebanon Star, and I have a star, another realtor with me, Chad Blanton. And I know Chad for a while. We are in Rotary together. Yeah. And today's episode, Amy, we're going to be talking about something that's impacted the city.
Well, I first have to tell you that the next time I go to the Rotary meeting, I will be inducted as a Rotarian as well. So I'm very...
She is a new Rotarian.
And we're looking forward to it.
I will be a new Rotarian here in probably the next 2 weeks. So
and maybe down the road you'll be the president of the Rotarian.
Well,
too,
let's
right?
not.
She just volunteered.
Yeah, one step at a time. One step at a time.
But
yes.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about something coming new to Lebanon, and that has actually come a little bit from some of the Rotary. So tell us a little bit about what's coming.
Yeah. So the city's been working on actually for a couple years now. I went back and kind of looked at some of the the correspondence that we've had. But Bicentennial Park, the city of Lebanon has a new stage that's about to be in use here in a couple of weeks.
So like really, really close. And this came from some of the true stars in Lebanon.
That's true.
So unfortunately, these stars are no longer with us, but Chad, you get to tell us the story.
So some of those of you that have been around Lebanon for a number of years probably got to know John and Nelda Lane.
Yes.
Great folks, great members of the community. If you're familiar with the Warren County Airport, that's John Lane Field.
Yep.
That was their place. John passed a number of years ago. Nelda passed, couple 2-3 years ago now, but they were both Rotarians and big proponents of giving back to the community and being involved in the community.
They served.
They
served.
They did.
They did. They didn't just talk about it. They were hands-on. They were there. Good folks. And one of the things that Rotary has done for a number of years is a Thursday night concert series there in Bicentennial Park. The gazebo that's always been there is where the bands would set up and play.
And if you've never been to that, I encourage you to go, and you're going to have a new venue.
Oh, it was
great.
Just so much fun and so relaxing and
family friendly. And,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Great place to hang out with friends and just enjoy a nice summer evening.
And Nelda enjoyed this.
Yeah, that was Nelda loved it. Any time that there was a concert going on, she was there. Even through COVID when things were tough, she'd even just pull up and sit in her truck and to distance from folks where she could hear the music, and she just loved it. So that's kind of where some of this Rotary involvement came from when the city started talking about doing this. Unfortunately, Nelda had passed. And had left some financial endowment to the Rotary Club to help continue some of her and John's legacy. So we partnered with the city when they were starting into this process and contributed to it in honor of John and Nelda. So the stage is honorarily named as the Lane family stage.
And where is this family stage?
So if you're familiar with Bicentennial Park, we are, if you've been to the Country Music Festival, which is a Rotary event, where the beer tent has always been kind of set up there in Bicentennial Park, that's pretty much exactly where the stage sits today. That gazebo was being removed because it was time for it to be.
That I remember when that gazebo was built. 20-some years, it had seen a better day, better days, and with the transition of the stage and opening up that space.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, we sat down with the city, because the city wanted community involvement.
Right.
We sat down with the city, other organizations that use the stage and the park for other events and that kind of stuff. We all sat down with the city and tried to give our input on, what can the community really use, as well, so there were many different kind of design sessions on how to make it accessible, because I know the city's planning on, or at least been talking about, movie nights in the park, family movie nights using the stage.
Yes.
And, so it's, it could be a great place for the community to kind of gather, spend time with, friends and family and neighbors and that's what this community is about around here.
That's Lebanon, and that's what makes this great. And so here their legacy turns around in this stage. Now, we've got an opening night coming. So tell us a little bit about the opening night, the first event.
Yeah. So the first event is actually coming up May 17th, Saturday. So just around the corner here.
Yes.
Right around the corner.
Be here for you know it. And the first band is Parrots of the Caribbean.
Parrots of the Caribbean.
Yep.
Does that mean there's birds singing?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe some bird heads.
Yeah,
Parrot heads.
I definitely think there will be bird heads,
So is
for
this
sure.
like a Jimmy Buffett tribute thing?
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're kicking off the inaugural concert there, and we're going to do a little dedication at 5:45 p.m.
Okay.
Followed by Parrots of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage you to come to that event, but that's not going to be the only event there
No.
this summer. There's quite a few other events coming. So obviously we talked a little bit about Rotary Thursday's events, so that's going to be there. There's the Country Music Fest that's coming up.
Well, I'll tell you one of my favorite events, and I'm always very excited because I get to be the MC for the event Friday and Saturday. One of the many things I love about Rotary and a lot of our organizations is always giving back to the community. And what I love about the stage is that, for one, like Rotary in terms of the Country Western, it saves organizations. So now organizations do not have to rent a big stage.
And set up the stage.
So
and
that
use-
$3,000, $4,000 that, let's say, Rotary would generate, the Rotary would have to pay for, now that money will go back into the community through scholarship programs and all the many things that Rotary, whether it be Kiwanis, whoever,
We
will
don't
be
mention
able
that
to.
Kiwanis word.
No.
Just kidding.
Already not.
Just kidding.
I know. So it's that money instead will go back, and I think you'll see many more events taking place at Bicentennial Park because of the generosity of the Lane family that is now given it's kind of a permanent remembrance of how important, how vital they were in the community, and for so many more people to truly enjoy that gathering place or that hub right in the heart of downtown.
So these were some true stars in Lebanon.
Yeah.
We really, really thank them for their legacy that's going to
Yes.
be there. There's going to be a plaque there, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Yes.
That's going to be there.
Yep.
And if you're curious about events that are going to be at the stage, you can always go to the city's website or the chamber's website
Right.
to get some information about those events. And we want to encourage you to do that. And maybe you've got some ideas of your own about future events that could be at the stage.
Well,
But,
they're the opportunity and the potential to use that stage. And anybody that can think of an event they want, they can contact the city about that. They can kind of use that stage. It could be a small venue, large venues, but we want everyone to be able to use that stage. And it is I go by just to see, and it is going to be a beautiful stage.
Yeah.
Chad, as the past president of Rotary and walking through this thing, did you have any clue that you would be involved in something like this?
When I started, no. I mean,
Yeah.
the Rotary organization, such a great organization.
Yes.
That so many people, we're kind of behind the scenes in so many things. That people don't really know what Rotary's out here doing. We're giving away $10,000 plus annually in scholarships to
Skips.
local kids.
And my daughter was one of the recipients.
recipients,
That was
yeah.
a blessing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, to both the high school and career center kids.
Yes.
Which unfortunately don't have a lot of opportunities for scholarships. So, we're involved there, giving back to youth sports in the community and partnering with the YMCA on various things and other
Flipping
local charities.
pancakes at huge Lebanon events.
Exactly. And some of these fundraisers we do, like the Country Music Festival, and to your point, having the stage there now will save us thousands of dollars of
Yes.
expense in putting that event on.
Money.
That's one of the big fundraisers for a lot of our charities.
Yes.
When I kind of went down the path on the board to become president, obviously we never had any vision of something like that necessarily happening. But when we hear the city starting to work on it, And, something that was so near and dear to one of our late members' hearts, it's like, there's a match here. This is meant to be for some reason. We need to step up and make sure that they're remembered in something that they truly enjoyed and loved.
Another thing that Rotary does that I don't think many people know at all is the historic markers that are around the city. I know the Conservancy building, because I live right there. I see that those, that kind of highlight the history of a particular building or an area. Rotary is also responsible for taking care of that.
For those of you that have grown up around Lebanon, probably know the name John Zimkis.
Yes.
John will be a future star here on the Lebanon Star.
Yes.
John, also Rotarian.
Yes.
And history teacher for a few years, let's say, and involved in the museum here in town. John is the one who does a lot of the research on the history of those buildings. And helps craft that verbiage and stuff. And we've got 46 or so of those around the city. Right now, we've been refurbishing some of those because they've been out there for a while.
Right.
But there's you can find pamphlets at at City Hall, or I think the Chamber still has some.
The museum.
Yeah, it's kind of a walking tour of some of those. If you want to get a little history lesson of some of
those are the old stars of Lebanon. Or the foundation, the foundation.
On occasion, I will see people walking around. They've got that, and they're reading. They're reading them and really, really using that. So that's another pretty neat thing that Rotary does. That kind of helps with the history and.
If you're out there and you're looking to say, hey, I need to get involved in an organization, I want to serve this community. Rotary is a great organization. There are a lot of other Kiwanis optimists as well. Yep. But it is a opportunity, and I've always valued that because I get to see by example other people are serving this community. You even had to make a choice. You're busy in real estate, and you're busy. I know that space well. We're both very busy, but you decided to take the time to go out and serve as a president. And that's what it takes to be a star. Yeah. Go out and offer. Give yourself the ability to go out and serve.
The Rotary motto is service above self.
There you go.
Yes.
It's all about, this community has given so much to me, has given so much to each of us over the years.
Yes.
Why not give it back? The community that's given so much to us, they deserve our respect and to return
it deserves a little bit of our time.
Yes.
It really does.
They're worthy of it.
So this weekend coming up, you've got a chance and an opportunity to come see one of the Lebanon Star's legacies. So we want to encourage you to come out and see the band, the Parrots of the Caribbean. And there's also a dedication for the stage. So come on down to Bicentennial Park and see the Lane Memorial Stage. We appreciate, again, Chad Blanton, one of the stars of Lebanon. And we really appreciate you coming in and talking about the Nelda Lane stage.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And we thank you for, again, joining our podcast, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.
There's going to be a big crowd there, so you better get there early. Perfect.
Lost in your hometown.